Shalom, shalom. This class is about walking in the perfection of Yahawashi. Matthew 5, verse 48.
Matthew 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
So this is Yahawashi telling us in the scriptures to be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So a lot of people, they say, well, no one's perfect, but Yahawashi is telling us and commanded us to be ye therefore perfect, even as our Father which is in heaven is perfect. Ezekiel 28, verse 15.
Ezekiel 28, verse 15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee.
So now, this is Yahawashi speaking through the prophet Ezekiel. And you have to remember in Psalms 40, verse 7 and 8, he says, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O God. So here he is going back to the time of Adam, saying how Adam was made perfectly. And then he took him formed him from the dust of the ground and breathed in him a living soul, which was the laws, statutes, and commandments. John 17, verse 23.
John 17, verse 23. I in them, and thou in me. That I in them, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them as thou hast loved me.
So this was Yahawashi with his disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane, praying for them and saying how he wants us to be perfect again. He's saying, I in them and thou in me, so that we can be made perfect in one. Acts 3, verse 16.
Acts 3 and verse 16. And his name through faith in his name hath made this man strong, whom ye see and know. Yeah, the faith which is by him hath given this perfect soundness in the presence of you all.
So he will keep us in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. And he will give us that peace that surpasses all understanding when we're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. This was a promise that Yahawashi had made for us. He said that he will keep us in perfect peace. Acts 3, verse 16.
I just read that.
Shalakia. 1 Corinthians 13, 10 through 11.
1 Corinthians 13, 10 through 11. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
So this is Yahawashi telling us that he's using the analogy of sin as being childish here. So we have to get rid of every weight and sin that so easily ensnares us and run the race with endurance, looking unto Yahawashi, which is the author and finisher of our faith. 1 Corinthians 2, 6 through 8.
1 Corinthians 2, 6 through 8. Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world that come to naught. But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world unto our glory, which none of the princes of this world knew. For had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory.
So this Bible is a mystery book. And this is why Paul said he wanted to unravel the mysteries. But not everyone can do this. Christ has to reveal the Bible to you and give you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding out of the Bible. But if they had knew all these things, they wouldn't have crucified the Lord of glory. 1 Corinthians 1 Corinthians 1, verse 10.
1 Corinthians 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord, Hamashiach Yahawashi, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
And he wants us to be on one accord and be in the same mind. And he wants us to do the law, statutes, and commandments the way he said from the foundation of the world. He doesn't want us to add or disannul from the Bible. He doesn't want us adding or deleting from this. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9.
2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities than the power of Christ may rest, that the power of Christ may rest upon me.
So, we can't do it without Yahushua. This is why he said it in John 15, how he said, I am the vine and you are the branches. For without me, you could do nothing. So, when we are weak, he's always strong. So we have to continue walking with him and walking in the Spirit, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. 2 Corinthians 7, verse 1.
2 Corinthians 7, verse 1. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God.
And so we have to do this in the fear of God. And what is the fear of God? He said the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do God's commandments. So we have to do this with the reverence of the Most High. This is what we have to do. Matthew 16, 11 through 12.
Matthew 16, 11 through 12. How is it that ye do not understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees? How is it that ye do not understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees?
So this was Yahushua talking about the Sadducees and the Pharisees, because they were the ones teaching the laws. They were the ones teaching all the laws, statutes, and commandments in Israel, but they wouldn't do them themselves. So he was telling us and giving us a warning so that we have to beware of false prophets. If they're not doing the law, statutes, and commandments and teaching people to do it, to beware of them. This is what he's saying here. Read on.
Then understood they how that he bade them not beware of the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees.
Because they teach people to do things and to do the laws of God, but they don't want to do them themselves. But they want to go out and teach people. This is what he said, to beware of those false prophets. Is that it? Luke 12, 1 through 5.
Luke 12, 1 through 5. In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trod one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy.
So he was talking about it again, to beware of those false prophets who are just hypocrites. They teach people about the laws, but they don't want to do them. Read on.
For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they could do. But I'll forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell. Yeah, I say unto you, fear him.
So there's nothing hidden from the Most High sight. This is what he's saying, that we're going to all have to give account for everything we're doing here. And he sees all and knows all because he's omnipotent. And he's also saying we need to fear him. We don't need to worry about the people and the men. We have to do this out of the fear of the Lord, because we're going to all have to answer to him when it's all said and done. Is that it? Galatians 5, verse 9.
Galatians 5 and verse 9. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump.
So now he's saying how he's using the leaven as a little sin. It ruins the whole body. This is what he's saying. So we have to get rid of every weight and sin that so easily ensnares us, and run this race with endurance, looking unto Mashiach Yahushua, which is the author and finisher of our faith. 1 Corinthians 5, 7 through 8.
1 Corinthians 5, 7 through 8. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Yahushua our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
So he's saying it again, saying how he put up his body as a sacrificial lamb. This was what that was, the whole depiction. He's using this analogy, why he got on the cross, was to do away with all the sins. So that's what we have to do, is get rid of every weight and sin which so easily ensnares us, and run this race to the finish line. Go ahead.
Sirach, the book of Sirach, chapter 38 and verse 10. Leave off from sin, and order thine hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness.
So he's letting us know we have to cleanse our hearts, which is the mind, of all wickedness. And we have to subdue those thoughts. Any of these thoughts that come that is not right, you have to subdue those thoughts. You have to study to show yourselves approved. You have to fast. You have to continue to pray without ceasing, and then you can keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
The law, or Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 34 and verse 8. The law shall be found perfect without lies, and wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth.
And so this is all about perfection. This whole thing was about perfection. And with that, we're going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem HaMashiach, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
Shalom.